Hello and welcome to Zentangle Explore. My name is Esther Piszczek. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and I am so excited that you came to join me and draw with me today. This is a class where we draw one Zentangle pattern really slowly. So all you'll need is a couple of pieces of paper of different sizes that you can hold in the palm of your hand. This is watercolor paper, but you can use whatever you have on hand. And a pen. I have a 01 Micron pen, but even if you just have a ballpoint pen, that will be perfect. So we start by slowing down and breathing, and then we'll draw for a nice long time. And so we're going to now just go into a brief meditation. You can close your eyes if you like. I'm going to close mine, and we're just going to settle our energy so that we can draw really slowly and breathe. So just start by perhaps releasing anything in your body that maybe is calling for your attention. Maybe it's tight, maybe it's just needing to be adjusted. And just settle into the space that you're in. Perhaps feeling your feet on the floor or your bottom in your seat or your hands resting on your lap or a table or a desk or wherever it is that you're situated. Just noticing that connection. Just feel yourself just being held by the chair, by the floor, by the building, by the earth. And gently tune into your breath. Say hello, breath. Welcome to this day, to this evening, to this space and time. It's perhaps you can feel your breath in your body. Maybe you can feel a slight extension of your chest or your back or your belly as you inhale and expand your lungs. Maybe you can feel a little shift of your clothing or a warmth or a coolness at the edge of your nostrils as you exhale. And perhaps you notice the little tiny little rest at the top of the inhale before the exhale. And the bottom of the exhale before the inhale. Just allow your breath to be exactly as it is. Noticing its gentle flow. Allowing your body to relax even more with every exhale. And if you're ready, let's take one big inhale together. And a nice sighing exhale, making noise if you like. Oh. Another big inhale together. Releasing everything on the exhale. Ah. And one last big inhale together. Exhaling. Oh. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, knowing that whatever we create together is going to be perfect just as it is. Okay, thank you so much for breathing and settling with me. It's such a great way to start to calm down so we can draw really slow lines. All right, I'm going to change my camera and we will begin. Okay, so I have a couple different sizes of paper here, and you want to have a couple of different things available because you might want to start a new little design or exploration at some point while we're drawing. And I have a Sharpie felt tip pen. I have a 01 Micron pen. But even if you have just a ballpoint, something off your desk, that's totally perfect. So we are going to draw, this is a tangle. I don't know the name of it. I don't know who created it, but I'm going to call it Jacks, Jacks. And it's going to start out really simply. And so you're going to draw along with me in the beginning really slowly. And then once you get the hang of what we're doing, you can go off and explore on your own. So we're going to start with a very slow, kind of a rambly line, or you can make it straight if you like. It's really up to you. And I could take that off the page, but I'm just going to stop it there. And then we have these crossbars. And they just come along this line, just kind of evenly spaced, just little bars. And on the ends of these little bars, they're like little dumbbells. They have these little orbs. You can feel free to move your tile and rotate it as you draw. And we're drawing these lines so slowly as you can. Bringing those circles all the way around to the beginning. There's no rush. So this tangle is so simple. So simple. And so a change that you could make to it, there's so many things that you can do with this, and we are going to explore as many as possible in our time together. You can explore anything that you want to. So let's just think about what the elements of this tangle are. We have a line that comes down the center. And that line can be short, it can be long, it can be thick, it can be wider, it can be a double line or a triple line. It can vary in weight, so it can be thicker and thinner and thicker and thinner. And then we have these little crossbars. They can be short, they can be long, they can be uneven on either side. They can be thicker, they can be thinner, there can be multiples, they can be differently spaced. And then we have the ends of the crossbars. So they can be orbs, they could be triangles, they could be squares. Could just have these little bars go off on one side. You can change them and make them so they're not perpendicular. You can put multiple orbs off the end. You can make them black, you can make them multicolored. I really love exploring simple tangles because it gives us so much freedom. And it's also a bit of a challenge to think of new things to do. Sometimes the simplest tangles can be really the most challenging because there's so much freedom. There's so many choices that can be made. But sometimes our brain just wants to stick with what we know, stick with the original creator's idea of this tangle. And it's up to us in this class, because this is what this class is all about, to find new ways to explore what this tangle is and what it does and what it can do. And whatever idea that comes to you is absolutely perfect. I encourage you to allow yourself to explore whatever is coming into your mind, even if your little inspiration is saying, do this, that'll be really fun. And your brain is saying, that's really dumb, don't do that. Those are the ones that you really need to pay attention to. I love it when that happens. And I have a little inner tug and war with my inspiration. And it says, do this crazy thing. I say, no, that would be ridiculous. And then I do it, and it's amazing. And you can also play with how these lines show up and play and interact with each other on the page. Where the negative spaces are, the spaces between the tangles. Whatever you're doing, I encourage you to do it so slowly. Just calming down. We're in so much of a rush as humans, racing around, meeting appointments, deadlines, making sure everything gets done in proper ways and proper time. It's not that often. I actually have to slow down. And it's so good to practice slowing down. And it's so much more fun to practice slowing down when we've got a beautiful pen in our hands and we're exploring something fun, like this tangle. And even if your brain says to you, well, that's just like that turned out terrible, that's okay. Because when that happens, you can bring yourself back to your breath and say, this is an exploration. And if I just did something new and something unexpected and maybe something that my brain didn't like, that's actually really amazing. Because it means that I did something that was unexpected and new, and something that I can decide whether I like it or I don't like it, whether I want to do more of it, whether I want to expand on the idea of it. So give your imagination permission to really play with this tangle in unlimited ways. I find that when I'm able to free my mind on the page with tangles, it becomes easier for me to free my mind when I'm out in the world doing things that should be done one way or another. And it makes it so much easier for me to say, wait a minute, maybe I have my own idea of what happens here. Maybe I don't have to do what everybody's telling me to do or what my brain thinks I should do. Maybe I can give myself permission to do things differently. Just breathing. Drawing really, really slowly. Relaxing that hand, that grip on the pen. Exploring all the things that you can do with long lines and short lines and some orbs or whatever shape you're playing with. Doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be anything that you expect it to be. It doesn't have to look like mine. Just allow it to be whatever it is. And you can also play around with how you get to the final product. So we have this line down the middle and these little short lines and these orbs. What if you started with the orbs? What if you just imagine where they might show up and then connect them and then put the middle line down? It's all kinds of ways to get to the end result. And it doesn't have to start in a certain way. You can play around with how you get there. You could start with the orbs or the little short lines. Key is to give yourself permission. Say, this is my time to create with my pen, knowing that whatever I create is absolutely perfect because it's an exploration. It's like a brainstorm. Everything, every idea is valuable. Every line you draw is valuable because it brings you information about what the next line is, information about what you like, brings you information about new ideas, things that can be different, or things that you want to make the same, or things you want to embellish. Maybe the orbs only stay on one side. Maybe they alternate sides. Maybe they turn into triangles or squares or rectangles. Maybe the crossbars turn into dashes. perpendicular. Maybe they turn into bows. Maybe they turn into flowers. Maybe your drawing goes off the page. To allow your brain and your eyes to imagine what's happening over there where the paper doesn't exist anymore. So many different ways to play. As long as there's paper in front of you and ink in your pen, there's lots and lots of different things to do. Just drawing and breathing. Just playing. Allow this be your time to just play. What if I did this? What if I did that? Oh my gosh, I have a black pen. I can do all of those things. And what I love about this class is that none of it has to look anything like what I'm doing. You have total freedom. Even if this exploration takes you into another exploration that really looks absolutely nothing like what I'm doing, that is absolutely perfect. I encourage you to follow whatever impulses you're having. Maybe you're adding watercolor, maybe you've got crayons or colored pencils going. With these orbs, it has lots of opportunity to add color. Breathing and drawing slowly. That's really all that we're doing. I love this class because it allows me to break the rules of what I think is proper or expected. To say, wow, I can do this and I can do this and I can do this. It empowers me to make choices that are mine and wholly mine. You can start a new exploration whenever you like. Your idea with this class is that maybe throughout the week, you sit down for 5 or 10 minutes a day maybe even just 3 with your pen, and say, what else? What have I not yet explored on this pattern? What else could I do? And the reason is why I'm starting in the middle of a conversation. Sorry about that. Um, the reason that everything you draw in an exploration is perfect the way it is because it's never been drawn before, ever. Nobody else has ever drawn the thing that you are drawing right now before exactly the way you are drawing it. And that is really mind bending if you allow it to be, if you really think about the implications of that. That you are creating something absolutely new in every moment. If you allow yourself to feel into that and to really absorb the power and wisdom that that brings, it makes everything that you do, no matter what it is, super, super special. Because nobody else has your experience and your vision and your perception and your brain. We all have brains, but all of them act a little bit differently based on our upbringing and our genetics and what we like, our preferences in life. So every line, no matter how horrible you might think it is, it really is absolutely unique. And when we start to bring value and attention and awareness to every little thing that we're doing, regardless of whether our brain says we like it, and it allows us to really honor and respect our choices and our decisions that we're making, even if our parents don't like it or our friends don't like it. And then it becomes less important whether or not other people like it. And it really becomes all about, well, what do you think? What do you think? And I also love about this class is that it allows me to say, well, I'm learning something new about these lines. I'm learning something new about my hand, about the pen, about tension with the pen. I'm learning something new about my breath. And so, whatever I'm doing, whether I like it or I don't like it, whether I think it's the best thing going or the worst thing going, it doesn't matter. It just ceases to matter because I'm always learning something new. And I'm learning something new through experience, through my own experience, my own motivation to sit down and draw with my pen. Not because somebody told me to, but just because I can. And I find that really empowering. There's so many choices in life, and a lot of them we just habitually make, which just means we've made them so many times that we've forgotten that we're actually choosing. And drawing like this brings me back to an understanding that I am making choices and I can make choices because everything that I do and explore is a new choice that I'm making. It's absolutely mine. If you experimented and you said, I'm going to name every single choice I'm making in every moment throughout my day, you would be absolutely astounded by the thousands of choices that you're making. Absolutely thousands. And we brush our teeth, we get dressed, we walk around. Every single one of those is a choice because nobody else is doing it. It doesn't happen unless we initiate it. And just because we know how to do it doesn't mean that we're not choosing to do it. We are. Every single one of us is choosing in every moment so many things. And it's really amazing that we get to do so. And how great that our little pen can help us to remember that. I really love drawing, and I really love it when you guys come draw with me. Because if you're watching this on the replay, you should know that there are live students behind every single one of these classes. What's really fun is that when the class is over, we get to compare, not compare in a critical way, but just see and be inspired by what everybody has drawn. And I'm always amazed by what people have created. Human brain is amazing, and our power for creativity and exploration is limitless. There's really no reason to ever feel like we are boxed in by anything, because there's always a new way to look at something, perceive something, a new way to do something. And it's only when our brain says, well, there's only this one way and I can't do it that way, therefore I can't do it. That is just such a limiting thought. And it keeps us from finding new ways to do things because it's closing off every other possible option. So I like to call it wiggle room. So when I get stuck with something and I think, well, what am I thinking about it? And if I'm thinking about it, well, this is the only way they can do it and I can't do it this way. Therefore, I can't do it. There's no wiggle room in that. There's no opportunity for a new idea, new inspiration to come in and surprise me. Just like with drawing, if I sit here and say, well, it can only be done the way the creator did it, and therefore I'm going to draw this boring thing over and over and over a million times and never get anywhere. Well, how fun is that? That's not very fun. That is zero fun. So it's only when I empower myself to say, wait a minute, I have a brain, I have inspiration, I have hands, I have paper, I have a black pen, I have everything I need to do this in a new way, to understand this in a new way, to perceive this in a new way. And whenever I free myself up to do that, I'm amazed by the number of solutions to problems that just magically appear in my mind that never would have appeared if I had remained in that closed state. It's extraordinary. It's absolutely extraordinary. And if you're having an issue that you don't know what to do with, it's a really great practice to just bring your pen to the page, see what shows up, allow that problem to sit in the background. And maybe, just maybe, while you're drawing little simple lines that you think have no consequence, a magical solution will pop into your head and you'll say, wow, all I need to do is let it go and let it untangle itself. And it just magically does. Life is all about experience. And so why not have every possible experience and not limit ourselves? By what everybody else has done already. I mean, truly, if we limited ourselves to everything that everybody else has done already, we would not have the electric light bulb. Poor Albert Einstein would have been out of a job pretty soon, pretty early in his career, because all he did was create new things that no one else had ever done before. All right, so I have all kinds of wild explorations here. I am excited to share with you here. Look at that, a whole range of ways to think about this pattern. And there are so many more, infinitely more ways to think about it than just these. And I am hoping that you have some of those on your tiles. Okay, so thank you so much for sharing with me. I'm so excited that you're here drawing with me in person or on the replay. If you would like to donate to these classes, you can do so at paypal.me/eternalpossibility. You can find my classes at eternalpossibility.com. And I hope that you come to draw with me again.